Hey everybody, we have here a really fun guest. So today we are talking of getting out of your comfort zone and going after your dream. So I met Judah actually at the gym and he just completely blew my mind when he came over and said, "Hi, where are you from?" And I was like, "I'm from Ukraine." And you broke into pure Ukrainian, and I was just like paralyzed, like someone hit me with a ton of bricks. I couldn't say a word, at least not in Ukrainian. So that was really cool. I mean, not just cool. I was like shocked. So now, when my speech is back to me, uh, uh, I want to ask you, and if you mind sharing how you're currently in Ukraine.
Well, let's start with this. I've been in Ukraine for, I guess you could say, 2 years now. One day I finished my high school. I finished high school, and I'm from from Lansing, Michigan, and I was originally going to go to Wayne State and study petroleum engineering.
Mm-hmm.
But my aunt and my dad were telling me that my aunt, she studied here in Ukraine, and now she's a doctor in England. So they were telling me about this quick program. If you just study hard here in Ukraine, stick to your books in Ukraine. You come to Ukraine and you study for 6 years, and then you go take your exam somewhere else, and you become a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's simpler and it's a lot cheaper, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what they were telling me about. So I just decided, let me just take a leap of faith, and I just decided to do it.
Oh wow! So it was your aunt who inspired you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and how long did she study? And she's a doctor in England. In England.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, she studied here. Well, she studied in Crimea for about 4 years
Mm-hmm.
and studied in Ivano-Frankivsk for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So yeah, now she's a doctor in England. Yeah, living her life, enjoying her life.
Nice. That's awesome. So she was kind of the one who kind of gives you the idea, but you could have just said, "Oh, that's not safe," and
Mhm.
yeah. So you
Well,
just.
another thing, it's not necessarily not safe here. It's just that it's a lot different here, and people don't know. So yeah, I just decided, I did my research, of course, like what is Ukraine, what's going on in there, but
Mhm.
it's very nice here. It's very nice here.
Yeah, you see, you know more than I because I'm from Kiev. I don't I've been to Lviv only,
Yeah.
so I
Mm.
haven't been to Ivano-Frankivsk, but I know probably a little similar because it's West Ukraine. You are more Ukrainian than I am, I can tell you that. See?
That's what a lot of people have been telling me that lately.
Yeah, so would you mind sharing, what's different and, how does that from your perspective? Because I kind of know, but
Mm. Well, yeah. Well, life is very very different, very very different. It took me a long time to get used to the customs here, because when you're from like a city like Lansing or Detroit, not really big cities, but and then you come to like a small town where like things are a lot slow. You could say slower, and I think life is a lot simpler here. So
really?
yeah, that's why I feel like it's a lot simpler here
Mm-hmm.
than it is in where I'm from. I don't know about any other place in the U.S. that much, but where I'm from, like we don't really walk everywhere. We don't really, a lot of people don't take the bus, like the marshutka. The bus is just not packed.
I
Like
have
like
to tell you, I have a special, special respect for you because you survived Marshrutka. Marshrutka is it's a like a little bus. It's kind of between bus and a taxi. It's like a
yeah,
small bus, and it get packed like
yeah. Yes, the marshutka is like the transportation to hell. It's
I
terrible.
know, and they don't follow any rules. Like
It's very bad.
it's dangerous.
hmm But it's gonna take a while to get used to life here. I was telling my brother that the main thing, if you want to live a normal life here, for an international person or for a foreign person, you have to learn the language.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. Like when I came here, I noticed there was a huge language barrier. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I hit the books for about 6 months to pick up the language really well
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a person who likes to speak to a lot of people. I like to interact, and
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not interacting with someone, I feel like, oh man, I'm really depressed. So I really like push myself to learn the language, and Ukrainian is probably one of the hardest languages to learn, or hardest languages to learn. Yeah, it's pretty difficult, but I'm glad I actually picked it up now because now that I learned Ukrainian, I can understand Polish, I can understand Russian. I'm already speaking Russian. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Я тебе не розумію.
it's so it's so.
No, I just want to say I was so impressed. When you talk to me, also the way you speak, it's like very clear. So,
Yes, yes, because my friends, I found friends who spoke English and Ukrainian to help me with my pronunciation because I whatever I do, I want to be perfect at it. So if I need to work on how I say something, yeah, I'm gonna find help. That's what I like to do. Yeah.
hmm yes, because sometimes some American, friends and try to learn some words from me, and some of them are doing okay, but some, no matter how hard I try, the way they
Mhm.
say it, you can never
Yeah.
know what it is. And some people like tell me, "Oh, I speak Russian," and then they start saying something, and it's so funny because they have no idea what the accent completely. You have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah, I was telling I'm trying to help my brother learn a language.
Mm-hmm.
When he first came in, he was really hungry. I was like, I'm gonna take you to this place. And I'm gonna let you order. I'm gonna tell you what to say. So I told him to say, "Я хочу sandwich с куркой," and he just completely butchered it. Like he didn't even know. Like it was the funniest thing. He can't roll his R's. Like it takes
Yeah.
a while to pick up the language, the accent. So yeah, it's pretty funny the first time.
People will still understand you if you say if you don't roll the R, it's just gonna be kind of
Yeah.
mild R.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What still gets me is the Miyaki's knock. Like to make the it's
Mm-hmm.
really hard for me. It's really hard for me.
Why?
I don't know.
Like why? It's like I've been.
I think it's because in English language we don't really have that like
Mm-hmm.
that soft enunciation. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. I don't even know how to say Miyakiznak in English.
Well, when you translate it, it's like a comma. It's like
Yeah, like a kind
sorry
of like a gentle.
apostrophe. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I can tell you you're doing really well, and it's inspiring. So, you decided that you want to be a pediatrician, right?
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And do you think you're gonna go back to States? I mean, or somewhere else in the world?
Well, yeah. Right now, the states are the probably the number one decision, but I did a lot of traveling around Europe, and I really like England a lot. I love England. I've been there a couple of times, and
Mm-hmm.
it's uh it's a really nice place there. My aunt lives there. I have another aunt who lives there, so it's pretty nice. But yeah, I think the states are my first choice as of right now.
Yeah, I think because they pay more for this kind of job in States.
So, sorry, my brother just came in. I could do.
Oh, he can say hi, but
He
he
had.
has to put a shirt on.
I'm really
It's
in it.
alright.
You just go. Yeah,
Just
he's
go, just go. Don't embarrass me. No, I'm just joking. So, it's just so unusual. People usually so afraid of traveling, and all I used to hear is that, oh, it's dangerous. And
yeah.
to me, I told you today that I'm driving through Waverly Lansing. It's dangerous. I mean,
Everywhere is dangerous. You never know what can happen. I try to explain to people that you could be walking into like Meijer or Walmart and
mhm.
something bad might happen. You never know. So that's how I think of it.
I honestly think, I mean, of course, we have some war going on the east of Ukraine, and that's really unfortunate. But before that, we don't really have a lot going on. Like, you
Hmm.
might get robbed, but it's very hard to get killed because it's
Yeah.
very hard to get killed because nobody really goes around with guns and
Yeah.
it just,
Mhm.
just.
like I was even talking to my one of my Ukrainian friends. They were telling me like guns are so expensive. They're so hard to buy. There's so many regulations for them. So I was trying to explain that to people like guns are not really something that people need here. That's like violent killing is very very low here with
Yes,
guns.
yes, it is. It is. You know, I had a question from my subscribers about the cost of living, and I know you are in Ivano-Frankovsk. It's, would be probably lower than in Kiev, Ukraine, because that's the capital. But could you give an idea of, the rental costs, if your food expenses and transportation?
So, let me start with food. Okay, so with $50, I think all of your subscribers know what Walmart is. Most of them, I think, it's like a huge supermarket. I can take $50 and go into probably any supermarket here in Ivano-Frankivsk, and I could fill up probably most of my cart. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like with anything I need, anything that's not really American name brand, because it'll probably be the same price as it is in America.
And
Maybe
Ukrainian is better anyway.
yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, for us, it's better, but my subscribers actually mostly American, so okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and like if you want to go out to a restaurant, oh my gosh, it's so cheap. You can get like a nice good steak for like for a good like $2, like a really good quality
Really?
steak. Yeah, yeah,
Oof.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Serious?
so yeah, if you want to if for any American guy who want to take a girl on a date here, you can spend maybe a good $15 on like a $100 what would be $100 date in the U.S. Yeah, it's really the living expenses are nice here. Like my flat, I just moved into a new flat, and this flat that I have would probably be around maybe I want to say $800 in the U.S. Yeah, and I'm right now I'm paying about yeah 250 plus bills. So
Mhm.
it's very cheap. And the living cost is very good for foreigners. Let me put it like that, because a lot of Ukrainians they struggle. That's what they were telling me. They struggle with making ends meet.
Oh
So.
yeah.
Hmm.
I can tell you the secret because we just had, with the stuff that's going on the East, we just had 300% inflation. Because if you
Yeah.
remember, the dollar used to be 8 and now it's 24 or 25 or something. So for you, it doesn't matter because you bring
Yeah.
dollars. But
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
people, it's terrible. So it's a good place to travel, guys, because you can basically live like a king.
Yeah. 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 Sometimes, yeah, like that. Exactly.
So I just wanted to make sure before I give them, that information. It's gonna be more if you go to a bigger city like, in Kiev, for example, but it's not that much more.
Exactly.
And hmm
Yeah, that is true. I went to Odessa, and Odessa is another place where a lot of millionaires are, and,
hmm
and I was still living there fine, or I was still like vacationing fine because things weren't really too expensive besides like anything that attracts tourists. So
hmm
yeah, it was all right. Mm-hmm.
hmm Yeah, so it looks like we answered a few questions. Could you say the last thing is about your study? What is the like name of that program? And if somebody else wants to look for opportunities, could you give any clues?
Okay, well, по-українському буде лікування справа, which means general medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I'm studying right now, which is a 6 year program.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you can do a 6 year program, and then after that, you can do a 2 year specialization, which would be like in pediatrics or neurology or some gynecology or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it'd be like general medicine, and yeah, I just applied, took
Mm-hmm.
an entrance exam, and I'm here in second course. Yeah, it's a 6 course program. Yep.
Did you apply online or did you travel to? And like, what is the name of your university?
Well, my university is called the Ivano-Frankivsk National Medical University,
Mm-hmm.
and what I did was my aunt she actually helped me find an agent here who finished his studies, and
Mm-hmm.
he helped me get an invitation letter to come to the university and fill out my paperwork. And while I was here, I stayed here for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
traveled. Then they let me in,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's funny because we had some problems because they spelled my name wrong on my invitation, so I had to go all the way to Poland, Warsaw, Poland, and do some changes.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it was okay.
Uh-huh. I've noticed you have like, how do you say your last name?
Uh, okay, Chuku. Okay, Chuku.
I see. Is it comes from Africa, right?
Yeah, my dad's Nigerian. Yeah, my dad's
Yes,
Nigerian.
because I have a friend who also has Kwu, like all that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just I know it's African. This is, yeah, I don't like I was say how do you say that? So they just misspelled it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my
exactly. Yeah.
gosh. Well, at least you didn't have to fly back to US.
Oh no, the thing is, what's really a gift is that being an American citizen and having an American passport, you can travel to
Hmm.
almost all countries and stay there for a while. So I was
Yeah.
just blessed to have an American passport. Yeah,
Yes, guys. So, you know, don't say that, we are so unfortunate, because I have a lot of people who are complaining, how bad things are. Just having an American passport, puts you ahead of
a
most
lot of
people in the
people.
world, because you basically can travel, and when you're in Europe, in Eastern Europe, or you can just travel around and have some fun. You don't need visas to most
Yeah,
countries, except for Russia, I think.
yeah, but who like Russia? Who really wants to go to Russia?
Well, it's kind of a tough time right now, with all the politics. But I mean, actually, I think that you would like it, because it's very similar to,
Really?
yeah, it's very similar to Ukraine. That's why we fighting, we are competing, because we're trying to prove who is better, that kind of
Just tell
game.
me St. Petersburg is actually pretty nice.
It's
That's what they're telling
absolutely
me.
incredible, yes. So, well, thank you so much for sharing your story. And I
Hmm.
hope, if anybody listening, and maybe have some financial issues. Oh, last question. What is the cost of the study?
Oh, the cost of studying is $3,800, which is very, very cheap.
Oh
Very,
my
very cheap.
God. Is it for a year, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's for a year. Yep. So
Wow,
six
isn't this
years.
insane?
That's really it's really good.
And
Yeah.
in US it would be probably, I don't know, 100,000?
Oh, wow, yeah. It depends where. In the U.S., they have really weird regulations. Like, for example, if you're a resident of the state, you would pay less than somebody who's coming out of state. For example, if I'm from Michigan and I want to study in California, I would have to pay a different amount of
Mhm.
tuition compared to a
But
person living in California.
if you would be in University of Michigan or
Yeah,
Michigan State.
I think. Oh, my friend, she actually studies there. I think I'm not sure. I'm not. Don't quote me on this, people. I think
Sure,
it's
yeah.
1,000. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I know it's like thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
So wow, so guys, was the reason why we're also making this video. So, if you're thinking about something, check out with other countries that have associate programs like that, and you can get ahead without getting in debt and have
Yeah.
100,000, $200,000 in
Right.
debt. So you're gonna be the lucky person who doesn't have a student.
Yeah. I was actually explaining this to a lot of Ukrainian people. They always asking me, Judah, why'd you come and study in Ukraine? Like of all places, Ukraine. And I was telling them, your guys' study is so cheap, and compared to us, we have to pay all this debt throughout our lives, and it's just some like a big burden on people. Like people actually, become depressed of because of debt
I
and
think
stuff
it's
like that.
horrible. So you
Yeah,
basically just starting out your life, because you're
yeah,
just finished high school, and then you go before you make a cent, you
yeah.
go you go all the way into the debt. I think it's a horrible system, to be honest. So yes, when I share the prices of studying here, people in Ukraine think I'm fantasizing. They don't believe me. So,
Yeah,
well, that was a very important question. Thank you so much. And
no problem.
thank you guys for watching. Feel free to post your questions, and we'll see you next time.